so well. We saw it over the past 3 days. We're going to see it once again here today, jumping into match number 1. And it is game time. For everyone that's been waiting, this is the final 6 matches of this Gamers8 Featuring Fortnite tournament. Panda, is there anyone that you expect to shoot up the leaderboards? We talked about some of these top teams. Is there anyone you think is coming in with a different game plan, ready for day 2?
You know, one team I really want to focus on throughout the day, it's Malibuca Epic Whale, right? That combination of EU and NA West there. And Malibuca being the IGL, one of, obviously, the better IGLs in all of Chapter 3, in my opinion. He has a lot of potential to lead Epic Whale to the promised land, but it really depends on their strategy going into the day. They left yesterday in 7th place. However, I can easily see them skyrocketing.
Yeah, they've been a team consistently jumping up and grabbing big matches. This has been a fight that's been consistent over. Going for the vault, we see Spy and Hero. They've been able to dominate the vault thus far, pushing anyone out, but they haven't dominated the fights, and it's slowed down a little bit. We'll see if these teams continue to fight, because we've seen 50-50s off spawn. Spy and Hero win some, then Bloomy and Arab win some. Looks like Spy and Hero, they have the greater start, getting that vault, getting that HP up.
The story really is, will Spy and Hero continue to be the top team here in the Sanctuary area? Sometimes they don't even decide to fight, right? Obviously, Arab, Bloomy, 2 players that are well known for their insight and mind in Fortnite. However, Spy, Hero, these 2 are truly an up-and-coming, truly understanding team, especially in a format like this. They know exactly what they need to do to execute and be effective, taking one of those top spots. Now, though, the focus is on here because a little rivalry, EU, NA, it's Pink and Anas going up against Duke and Clicks.
Old friends now going and becoming rivals in the game. We've mentioned Pink and Anas. We're not necessarily supposed to play together this season. Pink was supposed to move to NA and play with Clicks. So the strats have been shared. These 2 know each other very well. Pink clearly stated that, you know, Clicks helped him out. He gave him the keys to this POI, and they are seeing success over on EU. Duke and Clicks have also seen success on NA. This fight has pretty much stalled right now. Both teams almost just wanting their piece of the POI to walk on out. Now, a team that's been wanting more space is Arkham and Falconer. This has been a tough story for them. But on the other side, Aqua Vino, they're just a couple of games away from being in first place.
You're absolutely correct, and I think the tale really is, will Vino and Aqua showcase why they are an FNCS champion team? Because remember, Chapter 3, Season 2, this is your EU FNCS duo, right? Aqua steps away from the game for a little bit, but now back here competing on the biggest stage and showing why he deserves a spot. Huge tags land there for Aqua. Now just looking to get involved here. It is Falconer actually trying to build up, but nothing's going to connect here. Vino now on the opposite side of the wall, just trying to get involved. Now it's all down to this. It does look like both Arkham and Falcon are not in the healthiest position as Aqua continues to press the wall.
And the pinch comes in here by Vino and Aqua. They're closing in. They take down Arkham. Falconer is going to follow right behind. And you can't see me anymore because you're back in the lobby. Aqua and Vino happy to take that first fight after they've not been initially contested. That's a great win for them off spawn, and now we tune back in over to the Joneses.
Yeah, honestly, that's the tale, and the tale continues there for them. But another tale still unfolding here is Clicks and Duke. Again, Clicks giving the keys there to Pink, and now Pink fully taking advantage when he goes up against Click and Duke. Now, here's the deal. Clicks is on the back foot, but despite that, he's still healthy. So just because he's backing up, playing it a little bit more passively, does not mean he does not have an advantage in this fight. So we'll continue to see how this unfolds here, but Anash just looking to get in, looking to square up against his rival here at the Joneses.
Yeah, and not only are they rivals, but they're also right next to each other on the leaderboard. 17th and 16th, going back to back right on the leaderboard, now going head to head within this match. And we see it's stalled once again. Some shots did come through there, but neither team necessarily won that engagement just yet. It's been a tough start over at the Joneses. Some other teams that we've seen success from is Hellfire and Tripper. Now getting into an engagement, not only just that, but spending a ton of materials here over at Coney Crossroads.
Yeah, a ton of material spent, but for Hellfire and Tripper, and it's just about maintaining that consistency. We've seen them going into this second place here on the leaderboard. Two of the most consistent players on the day, but here it is, a switch up in consistency. It's Amar and Vidil. They had a very slow start there to day one. However, doing quite well in the second half of the day, now coming into this with that same confidence. But when you're going up against a team like Hellfire and Trippin, who are one of the top 3 duos here in this competition, it's going to be tough for them to survive.
Yeah, and we do see Tripper and Hellfire already starting to take those pieces from up above. They're trying to close in and give them no room to breathe. And the quicker they do this, the harder it becomes. Already throwing down that wall, looking to get that damage out, put Vidil and Amar on the back foot, but nothing happens just yet. And again, this fight is going to be one that is going to be non-existent. Everyone is disengaging. Tripper and Hellfire know that they need to get out of here. They need to be productive during this time. And if they're not able to get a big engagement starting that fight, it's not worth the effort.
It really isn't, but honestly, it seemed like the focus there in that fight was more about trading than it was trying to get eliminations. So fortunate for some of them, they're going to walk away with a little bit of extra surge damage going into the rest of the game. But for a team like Seti and Cammy, first place still. Their consistency unrivaled, and it looks like they're not slowing down.
Definitely not. Going to continue to look for that position that they want to grab. It's everyone staking their claim within these early zones, and one team they're taking shots at, that's Bizzle and Dubs. They're going to have to stay where they're at or spend some mats to get there, and Cammy and Seti want to just continue to move on into a better spot. Don't want to be in those congested areas. That way you have some freedom. When surge starts to hit, you have to be very wary of teams that are becoming desperate, trying to take fights when you don't necessarily want to. And that's exactly why Cammy Seti trying to move away from that fight.
They're trying to move away, but a team that isn't moving away, it's Tripper and Hellfire. We keep tuning back in, and the action doesn't slow down. Jantel now out. Tripper getting that elimination. He continues to press forward, not only in this fight, but on the leaderboard as more points get added. Here, Tripper now looking to catch him off guard. Huge edits come through, just trying to connect something, but he keeps pushing this other player away. Now the focus is shifted.
Tripper and Hellfire just continue to walk into fights, and it's a different duo every time. Coney Crossroads is the point of contention thus far in this match, and we see they may not know it yet, but there's another duo that has walked into this engagement. Phantom will be lucky to escape this one, and Jelty starts walking over, trying to knock on that door, but quickly realizes, okay, I don't necessarily want to get involved in that. Let's begin our rotation, make our way out of this chaos.
Yeah, and make their way out they will, using the taxi cab. One of the few on the map here. It's going to be a good advantage for them to have, but they'll have to keep it healthy. But speaking of healthy, Tripper and Hellfire still very healthy in this fight. This is why they are so good at what they do and why they've remained so consistent throughout this competition. And it's because they know how to be patient. They know when to take fights, but this might not be the time for Phantom to take a fight as he's looking to connect any shot onto this top duo in Hellfire and Tripper.
Yeah, and they know that the reboot card's right there, so Tripper and Hellfire are just sitting on that, waiting for the move to come through. And they did get some big damage there onto Phantom, and as he rotated out, the players rotate right in. They're in the face. Tripper's not going to be able to get that one, but it's only a matter of time. He goes down. Phantom is cleaned up, but it's Tripper now needing some help. Quick use of the armored wall. Give themselves some protection. That is some great recognition to notice that they are in a bad spot. Throw down those armored walls, give you space, get your teammate back in the game.
Yeah, but for teammates still in the game, it's Clix and Duke, one of those teams we were following just earlier before. They're still in it, but finding themselves now fighting another team here as the zone presents itself towards the central side of the map. So this is cool. This is what I like to see. This is a difference in zones.
And I want to talk about this. Look at the two light green arrows on the two hills at Shifty Shafts. That is Queasy, that is Hen positioning themselves up there, knowing that zone has to pull their way somehow. They are playing those zones so well, and this is something we've seen from some of the top duos or trios when we had more teammates over historic periods. Splitting that distance, allowing you to hold, claim more space, and pushing everyone outside of it. I'm interested to see how long they're going to play those two separate hills, but for now, this is a great position for them to be in.
A great position indeed, but also another good position, it's Mansour. This is a player that we have to talk a little bit more about. I feel like we kind of seen him throughout the day yesterday, but never in those highlight moments. This is a change, though, because you know Mansour on the hunt. one of the better players of his region, now competing here against the likes of Clix and Duke. So many other teams now just in the general vicinity, but the rotation begins. These players on a journey as to where they're gonna end up on the map, and it keeps unfolding in front of us.
It definitely will. We're gonna see Dukes and Clix just start that rotation, start that journey, as you've said. We'll find out exactly if they're able to get in. But during these rotates, it's going to be tough for them. We noticed they were in a fight for a long time. There's no eliminations on them. So that fight that lasted a while off spawn was not successful for either duo besides getting some damage. We see there is no extra shield here for Clix, so that fight drained them. They are now needing a refresh to try and continue this game because right now they do not have enough in order to make a significant push in the end game.
They definitely don't, but one thing I want to ask you, right? Obviously, they're kind of running low on shield, which means they're not really going to be able to trade tags here for Surge, so they're going to have to do something different. What do you think they're going to have to do differently to just survive this game?
They're going to have to take a fight. It's not even just about the Surge. It's going to be about all the lack of heals that they have. They're going to need that refresh. Their builds are not even that strong. I believe they only had about 50 builds apiece, which is not even close to enough to be successful during these endgames. But knowing those two, they are very skilled fighters. They will be looking for that fight, trying to find a position where they can safely take a fight. There's one moment where, you know, you can take any fight, but there's also knowing how to set up a good fight and successfully get that refresh.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct here, especially for Clix at Duke. Like he's mentioned in the past, right? You don't understand the stress of going in, 0 mats, 30 people left, moving zones. Like, that's a lot of pressure on them, so they're gonna have to relieve that somehow by getting some more material. Now, though, we see another team here that we really didn't get to spend too much time with yesterday. It's Reels now looking to get involved. Rapid just pressuring this other team here, just trying to get any kind of connection that he can, but it's not gonna work out as these players continue to push away. But you see the damage threshold shows they are 338 damage below, so that means they have to get in. They have to get involved, and could this be the demise of their tournament?
Looking for that big edit there. They're able to get a little bit of damage and trying to grab that wall back, which is a tough position to be in. The full commit to this fight now takes both players down. They're quite weak. The damage has been traded, but we'll continue to see if anyone actually goes for this fight. Peak and Rapid, they've been fighting off spawn this entire weekend, going at it over at Rocky Reels. Now they're continuing that, looking for their own angles. We do see Q-Jack able to steal that wall back, not going to be able to get any shots in, and these two have just been hanging out now right next to each other. Zone now is pulling towards the central part of the map, and if I'm Tripper and Hellfire, Epic Kanata, or Epic Whale and Malabuka, this is a great position to be in because now everyone's coming to your homeland.
They are, so it really depends, though, on how they position themselves, right? Because if they move too far away from that area, they could find themselves falling just outside of their comfort zone, which is that loot lake area, like you mentioned. But Rapid's still just rapidly trying to find any kind of shots that he can connect, as Storm Surge just punishing him for the lack of damage that he's done up until this point. So he's going to need to act fast. He needs to find something here close by that's going to help him get above that threshold, or else he could end up going down.
And there's so many players here on this southern side trying to make these plays. This is the opposite side of the zone, but down below, we saw a couple of teams dealing with some surge issues, just trying to get themselves in, as Kakarot pays for double pickaxing there. He's another team dealing with some surge. Seems to be a common issue. No matter where you are on the map, you're having to take these fights that you don't necessarily want to. Kakarot, only a matter of time, gonna have to jump in here, and he's one tick away from going down. Bloomy and Arab, they're hearing what's going on, and they're simply just going to wait for their opportunity, but suddenly, Kakarot able to get up above, not have to worry about Surge just for the moment. Nonetheless, I expect the duo right below him understand the position that Kakarot is in, and then force this engagement.
Absolutely, and one thing I want to mention, and it just speaks to them as a duo, right? Arab Bloomy when that surge presents itself, they always consistently find themselves above. This is what you love to see. Their intellect and insight and understanding how to get those tags when they can is super, super vital to their success. They just need to maintain that success going through. And part of that success, I think, will be just rotating and surviving, but unfortunately Arab is going to go down. Bloomy now is a solo player trying to hold this team together here as he continues to look back. He knows Kakarot is still there, and Bloomy just wants to do everything he can to end this game for him.
The lobby is unforgiving. That's Hen and Queasy over on the hill just watching these players rotate in late, and they're just going to continue to punish on these rotates. Whether you're going to spend mats or heals, this is not free by any means, and we see Bloomy taking shots from all different angles. He's going to struggle to get into this zone as he does fall. Kakarot will be following in his footsteps here soon. Down both players go. That's what happens when you fight in Storm and late rotate, and we see it not exactly the play. Unfortunate for those two. They're going to be looking to play next match.
Yeah, and another team we got to focus in on, it's Thomas HD and Tayson. This duo coming into day one. In the first few games, they didn't necessarily have the success that they were looking for. A lot of people were looking at them like, okay, maybe their success is just online. But no, they quickly silenced that rumor as they climbed up the leaderboard into third place on the end of yesterday. So I can see this team being another team that can continue to climb. They just need to make sure they do not repeat game 1 and 2 of day one.
Yeah, 100%. They had 4 straight top 10 finishes after those 2 rough starts, 2 of them being a second and a third. So this team clearly knows what they're doing, and they're heating up. A duo that's fallen earlier on, now they're angry. They're continuing to play angry, looking for those fights. It's going to be tough, but you can hear the crowd going. They're rooting for FHD and Yonks here as they're going for another fight within the edge zone.
Another fight, another engagement, and just another moment to put some more points on the board. But if you're Reals, you need to be careful. You cannot afford to spend too much time here on the edge of zone when zone is pulling the way that it is, especially when you got teams like Malibuka and Epic Whale, Seti and Cammy already positioned nicely at the edge. They're waiting for you. They know you're out there, and they're just looking for the opportunity to strike as soon as you rotate.
Yeah, the best teams are really good at zoning off duos or solos, trying to make those late rotations in. They understand how to use the lobby and their own pressure to force players into certain positions, and then they capitalize on that. When you're weak, when you've spent everything, boom, now you're mine, now you're my refresh. Thank you for walking right into my box and providing this for me. I'm sorry it had to be you, bro, but sometimes on the late rotates, that's what needs to happen.
It is, but you know, look, that's the tale, right? That's how these things happen. That's how the game plays out sometimes. Honestly, while you can position yourself really nicely, you can have a nice spot there on the map, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to walk away scot-free. And for a lot of these teams, they've been heavily punished based on that positioning. But one team that no matter where they seem positioned, they always seem to come out on top. It's Trippin and Hellfire. This team so close there to Baylor and Bravado. They need to kind of be aware, right? They don't want to take a fight and then attract any of that lobby focus towards their way. But at the same time, like, they're in second place. And they're not in second place close. They're down by like 35 points to Seti and Cammy.
You have to be careful. If you start playing like you're from behind by a ton, you're going to make mistakes. And I don't see these two trying to get way too many elims. They're going to continue to play their game, knowing that it's worked well. You're not in second place by circumstance. They've continued to have big matches, put themselves in positions where they need to be. Now we see the zone is pretty much spread out here. It's almost a perfect circle of players all around the zone. The rotates are going to come through, and this south side is going to be a very congested area where players are now going to leapfrog over one another, take shots, box up, let someone else rotate, take shots, box up, and repeat until you're in zone.
Yep. Looking here, though, you see Blake and Scoped. Actually, wait, is that Pink by himself? Is Scoped and Blake kind of surrounding Pink here? This is interesting. I don't remember a Nas going down.
I think I did see him fall earlier in the elim feed, so not sure exactly what zone. I want to say 3 or 4. Either way, Pink now has to play this out by himself. a duo that by their own standards wanted to play better than they did yesterday. By no means was it poor. They had a solid performance, but just winning the 0 builds, they're wanting to win once again. It's going to be a tough ask, though, as we do see Cammy get taken out there by Epic Whale. That is a huge change. Our leader loses one player early on in this match. Not only that, but another favorite is the one to get that elim.
Can I just say, listen, if I wanted to see anybody take out my prediction, it's my boy Epic Whale. The NA West player repping hardcore in the top 10. One of the most consistent players in their region on this leaderboard right now. That's, I mean, I'm just saying. But now looking, though, it's actually Kanata and Janice there. Up top, playing exactly how we expect them to play. You know, Kanata being an NA East potentially champion this season. He's been looking really, really solid here so far, but in this competition, not necessarily performing as we expected.
It hasn't been up to their expectations either. I mean, those two easily can be a top 10 duo, but unfortunately for them, they're going to be gatekept by another team looking to play the high ground. It is going to be Hen and Queasy finally in a position that they are looking for. On front side of first moving, holding the high ground position. We know they're going to invest a ton of materials in this. Hold this at all costs. There is no going down if Hen and Queasy are going to lose this fight. It is going to be with whoever tries to take them out. As we see Zone is starting to pull through the shifty shafts. Everyone is going to have to make a difficult rotation up, which could be really strong for this high ground team.
It could, and there it is. Hellfire, Triprin rotating here with the grapple gloves, looking to just getting zone. Now, though, all these other players here close by, so much talent all surrounding them. This could cause them to shift here on the leaderboard.
We see Malabuka is going to start his rotate on this right side. We have multiple players all over the place, and Queasy and Hen are still holding it down up top. We have a bunch of our top duos being on the front side of zone. Tayson and Thomas trying to knock down that high ground position. Hen holding it for now, but Tayson and Thomas are relentless. They'll continue to look for that. Now you know you have a partner looking to fight for that front side of zone. As we're going uphill, this is going through a massive elevation change, and no one on low ground is safe.
No one at all, as you see players like Scoped going down. Malabuka, Epic Whale doing a good job of holding the mid ground here really, really successfully. Now, looking around here, though, this is a team that knows how to control a layer and control it effectively. It's just a matter of will they be able to control it to the likes of Triprin and Hellfire.
And we've seen they've been going side by side, rotating through this mid ground. Now players here on the low trying to find their own space is Tayson and Thomas. They've been shot down from that high ground play they tried to make earlier. Now gonna look to play low, but it is a dangerous position as we're climbing up elevation, and we see the dominance on the high ground. They're owning this position. It's Queasy and Hen doing what we know they can do.
Doing what they can to stay in it, and it's exciting to see two top teams. You got Tripper and Hellfire there on the low ground, Queasy Hin on the high ground, and you know when Queasy's in the high ground, he does not give it up easily. So it's gonna be exciting to see it happen, but no, Tripper and Hellfire, they're out here of this game, meaning that Hin and Queasy, they're set up for success. They took the loot there with the grapple glove. Now they're gonna be able to have tons of material here to maintain the high ground.
They're grabbing refreshes from up above. This is what you need. Teams are running low down below. All the materials, all the HP is dwindling, while Hen and Queasy just sit up here, pick up all the elims. You guys fight down below. We'll grab the elims, but another team that is dominating this mid is going to be Epic and Malabuka. They want this victory royale. Now the high ground play comes out by Edgy and Acorn. They're looking to take it. Queasy and Hen are not giving this up without a fight. It is Edgy and Acorn tossed aside. It is Queasy and Hen's high ground for now.
You know when they're up on the high ground, that's not going to be easy to take it. And Acorn and Edgy, unfortunately, using a lot of material to learn that lesson. Now, though, you look at the tail here. Look, Epic Whale, Malabuka going up against Thomas HD and Tayson there on the low ground. You got Queasy and Hin on the high ground. And now Acorn forced to drop down as a solo player. But no, Hin's going to go out. Hin, Queasy, both down here to Edgy.
And we see two duos and a solo fighting for this position. It is going to be Edgy as a solo. Now Acorn as well as a solo, my apologies. Tayson, Thomas, Epic, Malabuka. The battle is going to be here. Acorn gets to decide which team he's going to take the shots at and turn this fight one way or another. He is the deciding factor. Where will the solo try and make his play? Is it for height? Is it for low? And the two duos either get that massive refresh like that. Down he goes. Malabuka and Epic claim that. Now it's a final 2v2.
And this is a 2v2 here, folks. Malabuka, Epic Whale going up against Tayson, Thomas HD. Your third place going up against seventh place. Both needing a major game here to climb the leaderboard, but Malabuka now raining down, relentlessly pressuring here from above. Will they be able to maintain it though? Because Tayson, looking healthy, gets a nice little refresh and does have quite a bit of materials to make this something happen.
And the heal off here goes to the high ground team. We still have a minute before that's even a thought. Just checking what the inventories look like. The pressure continues from height. They continue to get tags, and Tayson is in a difficult position as they dwindle on mats. Malabuka and Epic can just go back over to all these old builds, while now the team down below is spending more mats than they want. They are going to run out eventually. It is in the play of Malabuka and Epic. Now the play comes up, they're going for height. There's almost no mats here. It is going to be high ground's game to lose.
It is Malabuka, Epic Whale. All they need to do is hold out this team. They have the heals to stay alive. They got Tayson out. Now it's just Thomas HD. Now remember though, Thomas HD had tons of heals to work with. It's the med miss. But actually looking at this inventory, I don't think Thomas HD can out heal them. So even with the med miss in hand, Malabuka and Epic Whale should win this. And there it is, you see it now. Two floppers, med miss, chug splashes. It is all but over.
It is only a matter of time. Malabuka is going to be able to outlast Thomas HD and take the first match of the day. Nonetheless, an incredible performance by those two duos. We've seen them at the top of the leaderboards, and they show us exactly